Good morning. I hope that you all are well. It is a beautiful fall day. I cannot get over how beautiful my Japanese maple looks back there in the corner. It is getting its beautiful, vibrant red foliage. Today, I have so many things that I want to do with you. I would love to take a walk with you on our beautiful trails in the fall. It is so pretty. I have some homemade applesauce that I want to get started on as it's a family tradition, and I want to get some bulbs in the ground before it starts getting too cold. So come along with me and let's see what I can get done today. In case you were wondering, yes, I took the pot. Who can leave a good pot found on the trail for free? Well, it is 2 days later. Are you surprised? I often try to bite off more than I can chew in one day. I just got really busy and didn't have time to get to the apples or the bulbs. But today is a gorgeous day outside. It is in the 60s today and tomorrow. So whatever bulbs I don't get done today, I will finish tomorrow. I probably won't film tomorrow, but I will film what I get put in the ground today. First, before I go outside, I wanted to show you my applesauce. I am about to make three bushels of applesauce. Often we'll make 5. It takes a really long time. Sometimes we have like a whole team of people helping us. But today it's just me, and I'm just gonna make a small batch just to show you what we do. Making applesauce is a tradition in my family, a little bit in my husband's family, but this recipe came from my family in particular, we have always used Cortland apples, and I can remember from really little age, my mom, my aunts, my grandmother, all getting together and making applesauce for the entire day. They would do it all by hand. They only had a hand crank. Today we have a little bit more modern conveniences that makes it go a little bit quicker, but it's just a really fun tradition, and we have applesauce for the rest of the year. And it's a very special applesauce. It's a pink applesauce. I will show you how it turns pink and just the steps that we go through to make it. It's a really, really simple, easy process, except for the 3 bushels that we have to get through. So I'm going to turn you around and show you the apples real quick. We always use the Cortland variety of apples. It's an older variety that I don't feel like many people use. And we've gotten the apples from this orchard that my in-laws actually pick up for us, and my husband's aunt. They all go out to the mountains in Pennsylvania and get apples. Here is the place where they get them from in New Paris, Pennsylvania. And this is a whole bushel, so I have 2 more of these in the garage. But this is the type that we use. It's very, has a very nice pink flesh to it, which is actually the part that turns the applesauce pink, which I will show you. And these modern conveniences that make it a little bit easier. I have a KitchenAid, and my in-laws are letting me borrow their Spiralizer, and I have had this little gadget for quite a while. This is a strainer that takes place of the hand crank, and then like a larger tray that goes on top of the strainer to put the apples through. So let's get started. I'll show you the process real quick and kind of intermittently go out and do some bulbs. All right, the first step is obviously to wash the apples. So I just fill up the sink and let them soak in some vinegar water for, 5-10 minutes, just kind of swishing them around. And unfortunately, these boxes have been sitting for a bit, so I'm gonna find quite a few rotten apples, I have a feeling. But we just could not get to them before now, and they were also sitting out at my in-laws in Pittsburgh for a while, so that is going to happen. But let's get all of these, maybe not all of them, but let's get as many as we can washed up real quick. I just pour that in. This helps to kill off some of the bacteria, nice and clean. This took me a minute to set up and figure it out. I don't think I've ever set it up before, but it wasn't that bad. It was pretty easy. So I'm just gonna peel the apple with the mixer, and I'm not gonna peel it, I'm sorry, I'm gonna slice it. I'm leaving the peels on because the peels are what make the applesauce pink when we go to strain it. So I'm gonna work on slicing all these up and then putting them in a tiny bit of water to start cooking them down. Does a really nice quick job at slicing the apples for me. I am getting some seeds in there. You can see the cores are a little bit mushy on some of them, so I may just kind of go through and take some of these seeds out as I go along, but I don't think it's a huge deal because they will strain out in the straining process. I got the apples all sliced. That's about half of a bushel. I have another half of a bushel over there by the sink. And I put them in this nice and heavy stock pot. You want to use a heavy stock pot to prevent stickage on the bottom. And I already added it, but I add about a jar's worth full of water. Some people don't add water at all. We do. I feel like it helps to prevent burning. And then I cover it with a lid, and I have it cooking already on low, medium low. I will let it simmer on a really low simmer for 30 minutes. I check on it probably about every 10 minutes to give it a good stir and prevent the burning. And then you're gonna have a nice, really soft, mushy kind of applesauce texture, and that's when we'll put it through the strainer. While the apples are cooking inside, I'm bringing you out here to show you my bulb haul that I have been collecting over the past few weeks. I usually try to buy most of my bulbs on clearance. I have bought most of them on clearance from Home Depot. I have a couple of packs that I bought from Costco, but I treat my tulips as annual, so I really just can't bring myself to spend much money on my tulips every year when I'm just gonna rip them out and throw them in the trash. So let me show you what I've got. I got this blend from Costco. This was full price at the beginning of when they started putting out all of their bulbs. There are 50 tulip bulbs in here, and it's just a really pretty mix of colors. I didn't realize after I bought these, or remember that I usually buy them online, and I think that this is a little bit of a different blend than what I usually get. The ones that I get online are usually like a mixture of early, mid, and late blooming tulips, but this, it says that they bloom in mid-spring. So unfortunately, I don't think that these are gonna be that same mix that I usually get every year, but they're still really pretty, so I will enjoy them even if they don't, stagger with their bloom time. That's okay. I got 9 allium bulbs from Costco, a really great place to buy alliums. I think, if I remember correctly, this whole bag was $15. I already have a bunch of gladiator alliums in my long flower border over by my fence, and I was thinking that these might be pretty to add to my crepe myrtle bed. My vision for that bed is to get a bird bath and put it in that kind of center space, and then have these allium. I have a bunch of daffodils in there kind of coming up all around it, and then do some other plantings for the summer and for the fall. That's kind of my vision for that bed. So the rest of the bulbs are bulbs that I found at Home Depot over the last couple of weeks. They were all 50% off. They do go to 75% if you wait long enough. You just risk there not being much of a selection. But last year I still got a bunch of stuff at 75% off. So I don't know. I may go back and see if they have anything left at 75% off, but I think that I might have enough. I don't think I really need to go back. So I got this little bag of crocus. I'm gonna use these down in my serviceberry bed, down in the corner over there, kind of the more woodlandy bed. I already have a bunch of daffodils spread throughout there, and I'm just gonna kind of pop these in the ground. I got 4 bags of these really pretty daffodils. They are a kind of a double blooming daffodil with a really pretty pale yellow flower. I already have a bunch of daffodils that have this kind of pale yellow double flower and a white flower. So I think that adding these throughout the back here, maybe out front, I'm not sure yet, will be really pretty. And then I have 5 bags of this really pretty mix of tulips. And I believe that these are all mid-blooming too. So I do have a lot of, oh no, it does say late spring for these. So that's good. That'll be a little bit different than the other blend of tulips I have, and maybe some of the daffodils. So every year I just get this blend of colors for back here. I just think it's really pretty and cheery at the end of the winter when you just want color. I don't mind the mix of color. I know, you know, some people stick to a certain color scheme, which is fine, but I can get these on clearance and they look really beautiful. So I'm just going to kind of scatter them throughout the beds in like groupings of 5 or more, maybe do some trenching. I'm not quite sure yet. And then let's see, the only other tulip I got was this variety. This is a double blooming tulip, double blossoms, and there's only 10 in here, and this is a mid-spring bloomer. With these, my plan is to put them in my pots in front of my hot tub. I have 2 small urns that I think these will look really pretty in, and I think that pink will be really pretty against that brown color of my hot tub. So that's my plan with these. So that is all of the bulbs that I have purchased this year. I am gonna show you, oh, and I also have 7, I believe, grasses out front by my Merlot redbud that I want to get in the ground either today or tomorrow. So I'm gonna show you those real quick, and then I will show you what I'm thinking as far as how I'm gonna plant all of these bulbs today and tomorrow probably. This is my redbud bed, and I bought these what are they called again? I forget. No, not ever. Oh my goodness. Sweet flag grasses. And I'm going to kind of stagger them along this walkway here, just to add that nice gold color with the blue, and then the redbud gets the pretty red leaves. I think will look really nice along this walkway. And I got these for $3 a piece on clearance at Home Depot. So in the past, I have done a lot of digging. I do a lot of trenching out front. I've trenched my whole front border there where I usually have my sun patients, and it's a lot of work. It's really hard. So I'm trying to avoid doing so much digging and so much trenching this year. So I decided to order this, it's called like the Garden Weasel, I think, bulb planter. So I have used an auger. I did use an auger last year, and honestly, it was hard for me. Maybe I got one that was too big, I don't know, but it was hard, and my soil has a lot of rocks and roots, and sometimes it can be pretty hard, so it would get like twist my wrist, and it was difficult for me to use. So I haven't completely given up on it, but this year I just thought that I would try this. And I might also do a little bit of digging, like make some holes to throw in 5 bulbs here and there. We'll see, but I'm hoping that this will make the job a little easier on my body and still will be really quick. So. When planting the tulip bulbs, you just always want to make sure that the pointy side is up and the roots are down. I just added 10 of these mixed color tulip bulbs to this little space right here. I will say that it was fairly easy to dig that hole. You do have to use your, muscle power a little bit to get the blade to go down into the soil. Especially mine is a little bit rocky, a little bit hard. And it did also make a really nice deep hole. So I'm hoping that will help to deter the animals, like the squirrels, from taking my bulbs. So we shall see. I'm going to keep a close eye on those for sure. All right, quick update on this garden weasel. I think that so far this is the easiest method for me to plant my bulbs. Definitely easier than using a shovel. I like it better than the auger that I tried last year. So I think it's definitely gonna be something that I keep in my toolkit. I did realize that when you plant and you dig the hole, the dirt all collects into this little cylinder here, whatever you call it, and it's hard to get it out if you just try to keep this upright. So you just flip it upside down and then knock it out that way, and it comes out super easy. So that's a lesson that I learned, but I will definitely put this in a link below in my description in my Amazon store if you want to check it out. I'm just gonna keep on planting here. I just put in 3 groupings of tulips on this side, and I'm going to carry it over to the other side, and then I'm going to put 3 small groupings of daffodils in either side, and that'll be it for this bed, and then I'll see what I can get done in all of the other beds. I just wanted to interject really quickly about the garden weasel. As I was using it more and more, and especially the next day, I realized that you can just go along and you can keep making the holes, and the dirt just naturally kind of lifts out of the cylinder and falls out. So there's really no need to be turning it upside down or trying to tap the dirt out. You can just keep going along and making your holes, and that realization made me love it even more. It was that much easier for me to use. I think I might have changed my mind about putting the daffodils in here, because last year I put in some like peachy colored daffodils somewhere in this bed, and I think they were somewhere along the ends, either end of the bed, but I honestly can't really remember exactly where they were. So I think that I might use the 2 bags of yellow daffodils that I was gonna put in here out by the mailbox, and just so I can have a better idea next year of where those peachy colored daffodils are, if I like them, if I want to take them out and replace them with the yellow. I think that's my new game plan for this bed. And I am quickly running out of daylight, so I think that I'm gonna have to call it quits for bulb planting for today. But I just wanted to show you that I was gonna put these mixed tulips right here, scattered kind of throughout this border. I have some allium right in here in front of the obelisk, and then my plan is to plant tulips right behind the boxwood hedge, up and down this bed and around the crepe myrtle here. And then I have a bed of daffodils back there, and I'm gonna put the gladiator allium back in there. And I will show you down here quick. I'll take you over to my other side of the fence real quick. On the other side of my fence, I have this row of Sweet Talker viburnum, and I thought that a kind of ripper of tulips would look pretty right here in front of the viburnum. These viburnum are supposed to get real pretty pink flowers. I think these bloom really early, so the tulips coming in after them will be really pretty. And then I have some daffodils to kind of scatter in this bed, and this is some creeping phlox down here that I believe is the pink creeping phlox, if I remember correctly. So it'll look really pretty. And then down in my serviceberry bed over here, look at those burning bush, they're so pretty right now. I have another bed of daffodils and some crocus, and I'll add the rest of the crocus that I bought as well. So that's that. I won't bore you with all of my bulb planting, but I wanted to show you kind of where I want to put everything. So I'm gonna go in, and I have to show you the final steps of making my applesauce. I'm back in the kitchen, and before it gets too late, it's already getting pretty dark out, so the lighting is not gonna be the best. I am just gonna show you how I strain this applesauce. It's looking really yellow in the camera, and in general it's looking a little more brown than usual. I think because the apples were, some of them were a little soft and getting a little overripe, so the applesauce may not turn out quite as pink as it usually does, but I will show you one from last year that was really nice and pink if this one doesn't turn out very pink. Here is my setup for the applesauce. I went ahead and just got the strainer set up. I had to refresh my memory on how to do it. This is the KitchenAid strainer, food strainer. We purchased this extra large tray to go up top. Definitely was worth the money when you're making a lot of applesauce. And I have a big bowl to catch it all under there, and my ladle. All right, I made a mistake. I forgot that the pulp comes out right there. So you need to make sure you have something on the floor to catch all of the pulp. That is how you make pink applesauce. And I know it doesn't look pink in this lighting at all. It looks brown or yellow or something. I guess I'm gonna need to get some lighting if I'm going to do videos inside of my house. But that was so easy. It's really simple, no added extra sugar or anything. And these are cute little applesauce dishes that have been in my family for many years. I have a ton of them. We get them out every holiday. They're just like that little special added touch with the homemade applesauce. And this is a jar from last year. It actually looks like the same color. So I know that it doesn't look pink in the camera at all, but it really does look pink in person, I promise you. All from the peels of the Cortland apples. So that's half a bushel down and 2.5 to go. It's the next morning and I just wanted to step outside real quick while the sun was shining and show you the applesauce in the daylight. You can see that it's a mauvey pink. It's not a super bright pink. It kind of depends on the year and if the apples are overly ripe, sometimes it'll be a little bit more brown. If they are nice and fresh and the skin has a really vibrant red color, then sometimes it can be really, really pink. So it definitely depends on how your apples are for that year. But I hope that you guys enjoyed following me around and kind of spending the week with me, I guess, on my walk and planting some bulbs, making applesauce. I am about to head out to one of my favorite places to go get some Christmas inspiration, which you may see in a future video. I'm really looking forward to starting on some Christmas content, so stay tuned for that in the upcoming weeks. I hope that you guys have a great upcoming week, and if I don't see you beforehand, I hope that you really have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you very soon. All right, bye.